First off, Coach, Ben Harbaugh named Offensive Player of the Week in the LSC. You kind of comment on that?
That's really exciting for him. I thought he did a good job. I thought, after probably the first two series where it looked like he kind of caught his breath a little bit and was able to play and breathe at the same time, I thought he really did a good job. And that's what we were joking around about yesterday. Was I don't think we had one drop yesterday. I thought he threw a bunch of balls that were really easy to catch and a lot of completions out there. And what he did a really good job is once the game started rolling, he started handling the checks and getting us in some right plays and getting us out of some bad plays and really just being successful at some of that small stuff that really helped him.
Any update on Ethan?
It was great yesterday. Practiced through, ran around the whole deal. Had another good Sunday. And Ethan was eligible to play Saturday, and we just rested him.
You go back with Ethan?
Currently, probably, yeah.
Okay,
we'll see.
Saturday.
I don't know. I haven't decided yet, really.
You went into the game hoping to have a four-quarter performance. I mean, it sure looked like you got that.
Well, that was our whole goal. That was our big thing going into the week was, and we've been talking about it probably for the last 4 weeks, was, try to put a whole game together in all three phases and come back out at halftime and play a good third quarter. We hadn't been doing that lately. So it was neat to see. What I really liked was just the consistency in all three phases. I thought we did a good job in that, and just the level and attention to detail that's what we needed, and it was pleased to see.
Talk about Junior Palme. He seems to be just like a mismatch wherever he is on the field.
Well, he's the biggest guy out there, which everybody can see, and so he does get some mismatches on some of those DBs and safeties and stuff like that. And in Junior, he's still trying to find himself a little bit. He's still trying to play himself in shape. He's probably a little bit overweight, and he's trying to knock off some of that and just grow into being, and he's really playing too much, because he's having to play by himself right now, really. We've got some young guys behind him, but, played probably, 70-some snaps the other day. Way too many for him, so he's got to make a decision. If he's going to play 70, 75, 80 snaps, he's going to have to lose a bunch of weight and start running extra on his own. There's not going to be a lot of days off for Junior right now. And so, but his physicality, his good hands, understanding how to get leverage on some guys is really neat to see.
Comment on a couple of the other guys that were here today. L.A. Dawson is putting together a great season, and then the spark that Riley gave him.
Well, L.A. is just growing into a great corner. When we recruited L.A., he was a high school quarterback and was a phenomenal athlete. It was just, will he come up and strike and hit and be physical, and could he grow into that guy? Well, you're starting to see a guy that likes to hit and likes to be physical. He's got great ball skills. Always around the ball, there's a loose ball or a block kick or something like that. You look up and it's usually LA's right there, and he's either the one blocking the kick or finding and forcing the fumble, or he's the one picking it up and running it back. And so doing a really good job. And then Riley, I thought Riley did a really good job, stepped up his game in the kickoff return. And we kind of thought that, if we could, tandem PJ and Riley together a little bit in the special teams area, that it would really help us with some field position. And he really did a good job of that on kickoff return.
You amazed by his speed?
Well, a little bit. That was kind of the niche when we were recruiting him. We'd seen him play and seen a bunch of video on him and the whole deal. And we kind of knew he could really, really run. But it's one of those things until you see it live and they really prove to you how fast they are, you really don't know. And the thing is can he carry his pads?
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that are, 4.3 or 4.4 guy, and then when you put them in pads, they're a 4.6, 4.7 kid because they're, either trying to hunt and find the hole or whatever the situation is, or they just don't carry their pads and aren't physical when they run. And Riley can do that. He can carry his pads and really move at the same time.
You guys scored 40, but not really a staggering amount of passing yards. Do you feel like the offense was a little bit more economical?
Well, I think economical. I think it was just by field position. We ended up with, I think Riley's kickoff return put it on the 30. PJ's return put it on the 30. We had one drive, I think was over 14 or 15 play drive that was really pretty good. A little bit economical, I guess, but some of it was just short fields. We didn't have a lot of long drives in there where we really could, capitalize on a bunch of yards and some things like that. And the first drive we had, that was probably our best opportunity to put up a lot of yards in that opening drive, and we ended up stalling out and punting on that one. So a little bit, but part of it was due to is just how they were playing us. They were playing a lot of coverage, and then they were dropping in and out of a 5 and a 7-man front. And so we were getting that 5-man front. We were able to run the ball with Devon and Trent. And so, and then once he started getting into some coverage looks, Ben did a really good job of throwing the out conversion and making some throws across the middle too. So it was, I think the yardage on the passing was just more just kind of where we were at on the field. It didn't turn into a lot of big vertical plays. I think Riley was the only one that had a big vertical ball down the sideline. He had 2 that he could have had maybe 3. So
Talk about typical Midwestern team. No mistakes.
no,
Find out a win.
the big thing with these guys is they're not making any mistakes on defense. They're Rich Renner's done a great job with those guys. They're not making any mistakes on defense. Kind of a bend don't break type situation, playing really good football once you get inside the red zone, goal line area, creating turnovers. And offensively, I think it's just a little bit different team. You're seeing a guy that's forcing the ball downfield. He's got 3 really good receivers that can get downfield and go. I mean, you're looking at all their comebacks were, 3 or 4 plays in 25, 30 seconds, stuff like that. So it's not like they're nickeling and diming you and, using the quarterback to run the bunch anymore. I mean, they're throwing the ball downfield to get what they want. And so, I think the thing is they're living a lot on what they did last year too. You're seeing a team with a lot of confidence. They're not afraid when they're behind. They're able to come back, and they're really not scared when you make a run at them either. They hold their ground and do a good job. And so, they're really deserving of their ranking. They really are. I watch them on tape, and they're as good as any of the teams we've played in the playoffs the last 10 years here. And so I think you just got to keep looking at them and find a way to, bend them up and break them in some form or fashion.
You talk about coaching teams up. You talk about just not being coming out in the first quarter and how important that is for your team.
Well, I think the opening drive, the first quarter, that first stop, I think it all kind of got to settle in and play. When our guys have done that and we've settled in and played, we've played really, really well. But yeah, I could say that. I mean, you go back to the third quarter at Eastern, we didn't play with a leg. So it's all, it's just being consistent, for the 4 quarters more than anything else, especially against Midwestern. Wild Bill's got those guys lined up correctly and playing really well.
Last week, Midwestern had 8 different guys catch passes. That's kind of similar to what you guys can do offensively. Does it feel easier, I guess, to prepare for them, knowing that that's what they're kind of going to be able to do offensively?
No, well, the problem with that is they all can score. That's the thing. So if you get a guy in mismatched or blow coverage, or they scheme you up and try to get a guy on a certain guy or anything like that, that's the toughest thing there. So no, because we've got to make sure we've got our guys lined up correctly, and we've got the matchup that we want. We can't let them dictate the matchup by formations and alignment and things like that. And so that's the big thing for us defensively, is not getting lost in that and get a guy matched up on somebody that you don't want, because they all can score, and their tailback's playing really good. And so in that standpoint, they are built a lot like us offensively. They got a really good tailback and some guys that can run around out there on the perimeter.
With only 4 games left, knowing the playoffs are still in reach, is that something you guys think about, or is it just concentrating on this?
Nah, we've talked about it a little bit, but we've really broken it down. We've talked once we get into October that it's a 1-week season. You got to win 1 week. Once you get in October in college football, you got to win each week, and there's really no season after this week. You just got to worry about where you're at. And it sounds kind of totally coach talk and all that, but it's really, really true, because if you do anything past this week or look at somebody else, if we look past Panhandle State and gotten beat, it would have ended just as easy. It could end this Saturday if we don't play well. So just got to stay in the moment and keep going.